What is going on, guys? Taylor Stewart with SharpSportsNetwork.com bringing you some of my favorite plays for this Friday 8-game NBA slate. Had another good night yesterday. Got pushed into cash mostly due to Jahlil Okafor's ownership being relatively low. I touted him all day in yesterday's video, and then if you were in my Twitch stream yesterday, you know that I was a huge fan of him. And then in our private live stream, Jahlil Okafor was pretty much a lock on Draftkings. Fanduel is kind of hard to get to him with Nikola Jokic at center as well, just because of the opportunity cost. But Jahlil Okafor ended up doing better than him over there as well. But yeah, I will be doing that Twitch stream again today, 2 hours before lock, twitch.tv/SharpSportsNetwork. Link is in the description if you want to give us a follow over there. We'll be live streaming 2 hours before lock at 4 p.m. Central Time, answering as many questions as I possibly can. And if you want to enter for a free NBA Season Pass, all you have to do is subscribe, like this video, and then comment below with your favorite play of the day. So let's just get right into the slate. We got 8 games, and this is my absolute favorite amount of games to have on a slate. We look at the Vegas odds of today, and it's absolutely crazy looking at this Rockets and Nets game. It opened at 241, and despite only 48% of the bets on the over, it rose 3 points. That means a lot of the sharp money is on the over in this game. Rising 3 points is a lot. And the spread is still relatively close at 4.5 points. This game should be tied down to, there should be no minute limitations due to blowout or anything like that. So you want to fit in guys like James Harden, Russell Westbrook. I would have those guys a tier above Kyrie Irving, but I do like all 3 of those. And if you could fit all 3 in there somehow, given that it's an 8-game slate, there should be enough value to get all 3 of those guys in. I think that's a route you could go in GPPs. Hopefully, maybe it gets to overtime, or maybe it's like the last Rockets game against the Wizards where there's 100 and it's like, I think it was 159 to 158. Maybe you get a game like that between the Nets and the Rockets. Obviously not something you would project on a median outcome, but definitely in the realm of possibilities. We just saw it a couple of days ago. So if you're going to be playing guys like that, you're going to have to be paying down. And one of my favorite plays of the day, and he's like my Aaron Baines of a couple of days ago, or Jahlil Okafor yesterday. He should be a bit higher owned, I assume. I don't know. I thought Aaron Baines and Jahlil Okafor were going to be a lot higher owned than they were the last 2 days. But again, I don't really have much faith in the ownership of these guys. That guy's going to be Daniel Theis. We know that Enes Kanter is out. Robert Williams is out as well. So it's really only him, and then they might bring in a guy like Grant Williams and go a bit small. But against a New York Knicks team who are going to either be playing Mitchell Robinson or Bobby Portis at the 5, they're pretty much always going to have a guy like Daniel Theis out. We see since last year, Daniel Theis since on the court in 1,002 minutes, averages 0.95 fantasy points per minute. We look at the popcorn machine of the last game. He ended up starting. This is with Enes Kanter out and Robert Williams in. He played a 6-minute stint in the first half and then ended up playing a 6.5-minute stint. So 12.5 minutes there. And the only reason he was ever losing money or minutes, it was to Robert Williams, and he still played 28 minutes. Now with Robert Williams out, they don't really want to play Grant Williams at the 5 all that much, especially against the Knicks, who play a bit bigger. I fully expect them to give Daniel Theis 30-plus minutes this game, and averaging just under a fantasy point per minute in a plus matchup. It's hard for me not to play him. He's definitely, I would project him for about 28 fantasy points today. I think he can exceed that as well. There's a lot of room for improvement on that score. But at 4K, it's hard for me not to lock him in on all the sites. And he's power forward eligible over here on Fanduel, which makes it really, really nice at 3.9K. And on Fantasydraft, I think he's about 7.5K. Yeah, 7.5K, and we are partnered with Fantasydraft. And if you want my free cheat sheet for Fantasydraft and want to play rake free, all you have to use is code SharpSports. Let us know. We'll get you guys set up with my free cheat sheet every single day for NBA on Fantasydraft.com. So I really like Daniel Theis today. Another guy that I really like today that I think people are kind of scorned on just because they've been getting burnt by him lately is Eric Gordon. We know that he hasn't been contributing all that much in terms of peripherals, only been shooting 3-pointers. But in this game environment, I really want to go to him just because his minutes are pretty secure. He's going to play a minimum of 30 minutes in competitive games as long as he's avoiding foul trouble. He's going to be chucking when he's out there. It's going to be 3-pointers, and he's been putting up not good numbers so far this year, but there's definitely room for improvement and positive regression. We see that he's shooting 27% from the 3-point line this year. But over his career, he's been a 37% 3-point shooter, and in the past 5 seasons alone, he's been a 39% 3-point shooter. So I think there's definitely room for positive regression. And so if he starts hitting those threes and picks up a couple more rebounds and assists, which he's definitely capable of doing, even with Westbrook and Harden on the court, he's going to absolutely destroy this price tag of $4,000. I hope people start going away from him because he's been one of my favorite plays in the past, because I remember last year he started off slow and then he started heating up from 3 and then he started crushing his price tag after people got off of him. So I expect his ownership to be very low today, and there's definitely room for improvement. But another guy I like is Tristan Thompson. We look at Indiana. They've just been so bad on the boards, and they're going to be missing Miles Turner. And to go on the Miles Turner thing, I really wished that they would have played Goga Batadze. They gave him some run last game, and I was hoping that they would give him the start, but they are going to be playing TJ Leaf, who was a coach's DNP last game. So I'm not really interested in going to TJ Leaf. I'd much rather go to Sabonis, who's starting at the 5, or Brogdon, but his price is pretty expensive. But I do like the mid-range, the 5K value guys in TJ Warren and Jeremy Lin. I think they pick up some of the rebounding duties that Miles Turner had. Miles Turner didn't really have that big of a usage rating, but it's going to be larger than whatever TJ Leaf is deploying out today. And TJ Warren and Jeremy Lamb are very cheap, 5.5K and 5.6K respectively. We saw that this game has risen 3.5 points since open, with only 52% of the bets on the over. Spread went down from 8 to 7.5. So I think without Miles Turner, this game does play relatively close. And so I like some of these Pacers players because we know that they have a tight rotation, especially without Miles Turner. I think that they lean heavily on Brogdon, TJ Warren, Jeremy Lamb, and Domantas Sabonis. So if you can get the cheap guys against this Cleveland team, since last year has been a bottom team in terms of defensive rating, they're an awful team, allowing a large effective field goal percentage. And we look at how bad the Pacers have been this year on the offensive boards, allowing the second most offensive rebound percentage at 31.9%. So a guy like Tristan Thompson, who's been playing 30 minutes, so I don't know. I don't think he's a part of the future of the Cavs. I think they're really just showcasing him, trying to get him out and trade him for something. And we know that how good Tristan Thompson can be on a permanent basis when given the opportunity. So if he's going to continue to play 30 minutes, his usage rating isn't that high. He gets most of his points on putbacks and offensive rebounds, and this is the team to do it against. He's only 6.8K, and I think people are going to be scared off of because of that team total and matchup, because notoriously the Pacers are a good defensive team and slower team, which they are, but that plays into the hands of Tristan Thompson. That's beneficial for a guy like him. In order to position and get these rebounds. It's a really good spot for Tristan Thompson. I bet he's very low owned today, but he's one of my favorite plays in this mid-range. So yeah, I'm going to be live streaming later on Twitch to further break down some of my favorite plays today. And answer some of your guys' questions. If you want to join the team, it's sharpsportsnetwork.com. And best of luck today, and until next time, peace.